What's up guys, welcome to part 2 of designing your BoxNet template. This is going to be a really short part. It's not going to take too long, but we're just going to add a little bit of extra design elements on top of the texture that you've done previously. So looking at my design, I realized I don't really want to have the texture go all the way around. I'm going to remove these two, which represent the sides of the box, the short sides of the box, and I'm going to put just something different to get a little bit of visual interest. I did a search and I really like this image, so I'm going to right click, copy, and I'm just going to put this image on the side of the box just so that when it's on the shelf it looks a lot more interesting. I'm going to add more things to this image later, for example the logo that I've designed for my packaging, and I think that would wrap it up nicely. So I'm going to place the image, I'm holding shift as I scale. Then I'm moving the image intentionally to get that temple arch roughly over this side of the template. I'm going to double click, remember to crop. I'm going to pull this in to grab that edge of the face. I'm going to pull this one in. I want to see what that looks like. I just want to make sure that temple arch shows up. That's pretty good. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's pretty seamless. Okay, it's hitting both left and right. There's no gap. If we go to format options, I can continue on, and just like we did previously, I can increase the transparency. But I don't want to go too far this time. I want to have a little bit of contrast on the box. So I'm just going to increase it just by about 20–25%. I'm going to play around with the brightness. This is more about trial and error. Okay, I want to get some contrast there. And yeah, I like to pull out the blacks a little bit because it will be very visually attractive when it's on the shelf. Okay, at this point we've put in a new image, and what tends to happen is we forget about how the box folds together. So at this point we've got to make some decisions and we've got to make some observations. We know that this side is going to be the top of the box because we have 3 tabs here that fold and close the box. They don't get glued down. So this is the top of the box. So when this folds down, this image will be the back edge of the box. And if you imagine in 3D, that means that this image is upside down. So we got to rotate it, holding shift to snap, and get it facing the other way. Okay? So then this becomes the bottom of the box, and this attaches to this part here. It closes this tab here. So the image has to be copied. I'm going to use the same image on both sides. I'm going to drag it around, and we have to rotate it to make it stand up the right way when you're looking at it. There we go. Okay. So now we have a couple of images on the sides of our box, and we have our textures ready here on top so that we can load up our PNG images and our logo. That's what we're going to be doing next. Actually, I'm going to delete these as well. No, I think I'll keep it. That's fine. So the next step is you're going to start adding your branding. You're going to add your logo. You're going to add different elements that reflect what your game is about, the theme of your game, how does it play. These images will, first of all, get attention, and also it will really sell the theme of your historical inspiration. So I've actually got a completed sample right here. You might have seen it in the previous video. All of these elements are actually PNG images from the internet. You can download straight from a Google image search, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. This one here, the logo, I made in Illustrator and I saved it as a PNG. You can use different fonts to create a logo. You can use the shape tools that we've been playing with to draw a logo around. It's totally up to you as long as you work with PNG images. Okay. So in a second we're going to get to this point of pulling in these PNG images. But what I want to focus on is creating some interesting shapes. If you notice, you don't just see the texture in the back, you have these like wacky shapes. So let's get those done first. We're going to take our polyline tool, and on our working file, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a shape, just freeform, not too regular, that kind of gives the impression of a mountain range. I'm going to hold shift here, so go straight. Hold shift. Still holding shift, because these are straight lines. And I'm going to create this shape. Okay. Going to go to line, transparent. I'm going to choose a really, really dark, maybe even black, really, really dark color. Now, if you go over here to the side, format options, when we put images in, it had the option to do adjustments. But if you notice right here, you can't, because this is a custom shape you drew. Google Slides doesn't recognize it like an image. So how do you change the transparency of this image? You just go back to fill color, and instead of choosing anything, you choose custom. And right here you can choose the color. Okay, you can see the top of this bar. It's in the black range right now. If I pull it up, it becomes greenish. I'm going to keep it really dark. And this bar right here affects the transparency of it. You can see a preview right here. Okay, so we're going to make it more transparent and click OK. And you should see your shape. Okay, I want it to be a little bit less transparent, so I'm just going to increase this a little bit and make sure that this is more to the black color. Okay, so that's one mountain range done, but I want to create an illusion of depth, so I'm going to create another mountain range in the front. Now this can be completely up to you what shapes you add to your box. It's really dependent on your design and your historical theme. For me, because I randomly chosen a box about a temple run, so I want to get the idea that there's a landscape where this temple is. Okay. So back to fill color, custom. Let's go back to black, but this time I'm going to make it less transparent. I'm going to take away that line. And it's a bit of trial and error. That's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent. And now we have like a series of mountain ranges. This one's lighter color because it's in the distance, and this one is darker because it's in the foreground. Looking at this right now, I feel this one might be still a bit too dark because we have, remember, you have your design elements that will go in front. So make it a little less transparent. Yeah, okay, that's pretty subtle. I think if I double click, I can just edit these mountains just to make it a little bit less regular. Okay. There we go. Okay. The sides of the box, I don't want to just be flat texture as well, so I'm going to take my polyline tool and I'm just going to do some wacky, crazy shape. Make it fun, not so formal and straight. Okay. Hold shift. I'm a little bit off there, but we can always edit that. Just a wacky, wacky shape. Close it. Same thing. Fill color. Custom, send to the black and make it more transparent. And the line, transparent. Try not to use lines in your shapes because it just looks too cartoony that way. You want it to be more blended and seamless. So I'm just going back here and just tweaking, making sure it looks relatively even. My logo is going to go right on top of this. I'm going to take this one, Control C or Command C and Command V to copy it, and drag it up here, and I'm going to rotate while holding Shift so it snaps. Okay. You can even use your arrow keys just to fine tune and move this up and down. Okay. You want to get it relatively the same as the other side. Okay. So it looks a bit zany, it looks a bit wacky right now, but when you put your elements on top, everything kind of comes together. That's why we work from the back forward. So as I mentioned before, I made this logo or the title of the game in Illustrator, and then I saved it as a PNG. I just got a font from DaFont. Okay, it's really easy to just install fonts and use them on PC and Mac. It's a little bit tricky on iPad. So it's recommended that you use a PC and Mac because it gives you a little bit more of that freedom. So since I've already done it here for my end result sample, you can see the PNG. I'm going to Command C this, go back to my working file, and Command V. So the PNG, the gaps between, there's no white background. You can see right through the gaps in between. And that's the special thing about .png image files. if you save as a PNG and specify while you're saving it that it is transparent background, this is the only file type that can do that. Okay. The other common file type is JPEG, and that can't have transparent backgrounds. So I've placed my title of my board game right here, and I've actually intentionally made it off-center. I've rotated it a little bit diagonal just to add that fun aspect. I'm going to Control-C, Control-V, or Command-C, Command-V on Mac. I'm going to rotate it again. Now again, please be mindful which way each of these faces of the box face in direction. You don't want to put your logo and then when it folds up, it's upside down. Okay. So actually, this one will be right here. Okay. I'm imagining the box folding, and it needs to be upside down. Okay, so that's pretty straight. I want it a little bit diagonal. And then I copy it, I drag it to the top here, and it will be reflected because it's the other side. Okay. Spend some time with your arrow keys, just making sure it's in center, because the human eye will pick it up if it's not really centered. Okay. So thinking about my box, folding, side, yeah, that looks correct. Okay. Now I've provided for you in this design pack, there is a slide full of PNG packaging symbols, and you can freely use these. Just take note that if your design is dark in color, use the white symbols. These need to be clear but not big. They just need to be on your packaging somewhere to reflect what it would look like realistically, because these items would appear on a normal packaging. But they're not design elements. They're just for inventory, for stocking, for linking to other websites. They're not meant to be really big. Okay, so let's, for example, take this QR code. I'm going to Control-C, come back to my working file, which is up here, further up, and Control-V or Command-V, resize. And normally these packaging symbols, they appear at the bottom of the box for consumers to follow links or see important information about recycling, etc. So I'm going to put a QR code on the back, but I'm also going to put it on the front because my packaging is quite new and this is a new trend. It'll allow consumers to go straight to the website for whoever's publishing this game. Okay, so if they see it on the front as well, it'll encourage them to scan it real quick. And continuing on, go back down to my resource pack. Let's put a recycle symbol because designers are ethical. We make sure that the choices we make are saving paper, materials can be recycled, reused, repaired, refused. Okay. And take your time making sure all of these are the same size. So when you're finished putting in all your PNG elements, then you can start writing the story of your game. You can start writing like how you're going to get attention from the consumer. When they read it, they want to buy your game. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is this whole side, it looks too flat because of the texture. We don't want to see the texture all the way through. It can work in some cases if you have a lot of images put in, but I want to give a little bit of a split on what is happening on this. So I'm going to take my polyline tool. I'm going to split this whole face up with a design element. Holding Shift. I'm not going to hold Shift here because I'm actually going to do an intentional diagonal split. And back here. Okay, and then I'm going to transparent line. Choose a dark color. I cannot do adjustment here. I have to go back to custom. I'm just going to make it a little bit transparent. Okay, and that just gives it, when the whole box is folded up, it makes this image look a little bit more interesting. I can put some information on this side. I can put the writing on this side. It gives me more options instead of just having a blank canvas that's not that visually interesting. Okay, so thanks for listening. This is the end of part 2. Hope you have a good design ready.